Hello, and welcome to this week's session of What's the Librarian Reading? This week I'll be talking about the Amish romance novel called The Stone Wall by Beverly Lewis. I particularly like to read Amish romance because they are easy and fun to read. In this novel, we meet the main character, Anna Beachy. She is a Beachy Amish, which is a sect of Amish that's more like Mennonite versus Old Order Amish. She is a tour guide in Amish country in Pennsylvania, and she receives a letter from a cousin in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, who is Old Order Amish, inviting her to come and stay with them, the cousin and the cousin's husband, and apply for a job that's available there as a tour guide in Lancaster County. So Anna goes and applies for the job and gets an interview and comes home from the interview thinking that she's a shoo-in for the job. She has the experience, she has the passion, and expects that she'll be offered the position. However, she gets a phone call saying that they had offered the position to someone else. So Anna returns to her home and sort of deals with feeling like she needed to have a change in her life and thought for sure that the Lord was leading her to Lancaster County and to stay with her cousin for a while. It just so happens that her cousin is Old Order Amish. So Anna spends some time in prayer and talking with her parents and decides that she's going to go and stay with her cousin anyway and look for some other type of work there. She thinks the experience of being with family that are Old Order Amish would be good for her. So she moves back to Lancaster County with her to stay with her cousin. And shortly after she's there, she gets a phone call from the owner of the tour guide company that she had applied at, saying that the person that they had applied the job for didn't meet the requirements. So the position was still open and Anna could have it if she wanted it. So of course she took it. That's when we meet Mart, who is a young Mennonite man who is also a tour guide in Lancaster County for the same company. Anna and Mart hit it off right away. Their religions or belief systems are very similar. The Beachy Amish tend to be maybe a little bit more conservative than Mennonites, but they are allowed to have phones and cars and things that the Old Order Amish wouldn't be allowed to have or permitted to have. So Anna and Mart develop this wonderful friendship, and the reader assumes that they will develop a relationship. However, in her time in Lancaster County, Anna ends up going to a horse ranch that is like a rehabilitation ranch for Amish children. And she meets Gabe, who is the owner of this horse ranch, and she starts volunteering there. And she develops a really strong bond with one of the children that come to the ranch for the rehabilitation. And that child's name is Emmy. And Emmy is the daughter of the owner of the ranch, whose name is Gabe. So Anna develops this really great relationship with Emmy, and then in turn begins to develop this relationship with Gabe. However, Gabe's Old Order Amish, and you start to see through the story that a love story starts to develop there. So there's the kind of a love triangle between Anna and Mart, who is maybe the sensible choice because of the similarities in faith systems, but then also between Anna and Gabe, and that's maybe not the logical choice because she would have to convert then to Old Order Amish. So without going any further and spoiling the story, you'd have to read it to see what happens, but it is a fun turn of events and one that you wouldn't expect. But going alongside Anna's story is the story of her grandma in the 1940s. And her grandma, Eliza, who was also Beachy Amish, visited family in this same town that was Old Order Amish and spent the summer there. Eliza fell in love with an Old Order Amish man. And they would, because their relationship was scandalous, they would leave love letters to each other in the stone wall, which is why this book is called The Stone Wall. And you'll have to read to see how it connects in Anna's life 60 years later. So that is The Stone Wall by Beverly Lewis. It is a new book available at Ripon or online on your library account at the Ripon Library website. Go to your account. You can put it on hold from other libraries in the Winnifox system. But I wanted to draw your attention to my book craft here. Sometimes even librarians have times where we have books that we don't want to recycle, but they're not really okay for use anymore, and maybe you've read them so many times, you're done with them or something, but they're not ready for the recycle bin. So I wanted to show you this cute little craft that I saw on Pinterest, and it was just, I took 3 books that were ready for the recycle bin. They're hardcover. I took the covers, the paper covers off, the book wrap off, and just painted the covers with white acrylic paint. And I let that dry, and then wrote in black just 3 words. I think I wrote Merry and Bright on this set to make a cute little Christmas decoration. This bow is repurposed from a gift that I received from a friend who is extremely crafty, and it just added the perfect accent to this craft. And super easy, took maybe 20 minutes. You could add your own ribbons or embellishments to the top, and it adds a fun flair to your Christmas holiday table or bookshelf, or any kind of decorations that you have for the holiday this season. Thank you.